How's it going, guys? Chris Hart here, Sold Out Servant. I recently had the opportunity to hang out with two-time Super Bowl champion Deion Sanders, right? And we had an opportunity to discuss his past, his background, working with Jackson State University, winning so many Super Bowl championships. In today's video, I'll be discussing his championship mentality, how you could apply some of Deion's principles to your everyday life.
Sold out service, and you know we've been working. We serving, we earning. The watches, it's hurting. Big heart, but it started with Chris. Seen a lot when it comes to this biz. Don't serve, don't earn. They gotta shift keys to be a capitalist.
One thing that stood out to me about Deion was his planning and preparation, right? We're watching some of his top highlights. From the 49ers to playing with the Atlanta Falcons to the Dallas Cowboys, he's getting interceptions, running on back for touchdowns, doing his thing, making plays. And we're watching his highlights of his career. We're sitting back. As we pause it, Deion says, "Those weren't my best plays." And I thought, what do you mean those weren't your best plays, Deion? Those are some pretty sick highlights, man. Those weren't my best plays. We're like, okay, well, what do you mean by that? He says his best plays were in practice. His best plays were in the dark. His best plays when people weren't watching him. It was a mind-blowing concept that your best plays are in preparation for the event. The way you practice is the way you play in life. When no one's watching you, are you reciting your scripts? Are you practicing your agenda? Are you practicing your presentation? Are you going over your PowerPoint keynote? Are you getting prepared for that big meme that can be a big payday for your career? And it was an eye-opener for me because sometimes you don't practice perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect performance in business. And so what are you doing behind the dark? Behind the closed doors, when people aren't watching? Are you preparing for that big day? Because when you perform at a high level on a big stage, that's just a mindset that took place years ago. That's coming to fruition. So the first thing he talked about was preparation and planning how much of an important role that plays and having a championship mentality. Deion Sanders was a visionary, man. When you go back to his career, think about to high school, college, he created an alter ego called Primetime, right? Deion Primetime Sanders, man. This guy was out there dancing. He had the bandanas, he had the gold chains, man. You see him in the locker room having a good time. I'm an 80s baby, man. I grew up watching Deion in the mid-90s, Dallas Cowboys, man. Deion doing his dances in the end zone. And here's what he did. Deion had a vision, man. When Deion was in college, the most underpaid position in football was defensive backs. They were undervalued. They didn't pay him anything. He thought, man, I'm a defensive back. I got a vision that one day I can make this position a prime time position. So through his vision of performing, of marketing himself, which is a great marketer today as we speak, he marketed himself as a guy who can change the entire face of a franchise. And when he was drafted in the first round, he was the highest paid defensive back from day one. And going back to where we are today now, looking back to where he was, where we are, the defensive backs are one of the most coveted positions in the NFL because these lockdown corners stop wide receivers from scoring touchdowns. Deion changed the game for the current DBs, defensive backs that are playing in the NFL today. But once a visionary, always a visionary. Today in current times, Deion Sanders is changing the face of college football. He's getting number one players, blue chip players, 5-star players in high school football to decommit from universities like Florida State University and go to Jackson State University, a historical black college university. What? Like the top players don't go to HSBCUs. Why? Because the top players go to Florida State, Ohio, they go to Alabama. But Deion has a vision for young men to say, hey, man, if I can come to a historical black college, I can perform here. I can play with people who look, talk, and act like me. I can change the face of college football forever. Deion was purpose-driven. Deion Sanders is one of the most coveted players of all time when it comes to defensive backs and what he's done, man. He's a household name. He could coach anywhere he wants to coach at. For the last 15 years, where's he been coaching at? He's been in inner city schools giving back to that community. Because he realized that, man, coaching is important, winning games are important, but how do I take young men from the inner city who are fatherless, who don't have examples in their homes, and how do I teach them just values and principles around manhood? And what's crazy is this, even as he rises to the ranks in college football, he says, hey, I can coach probably anywhere I want to coach at. I'm going to pick Jackson State University to be my talent stat school. Why? Because for him, it's not just about the accolades and winning national championships. Of course, he wants to take college football to a new level when it comes to historical black colleges. But he's saying, man, when I draft these players, when I pick these players, not draft because it's college, right? But when I pick these players up, I want to lead this institution better as men. If they spend 4 years with me as a coach, when they walk away, they're probably not going to be in the NFL. So what's next for them? Is it business? Is it a career that's going to be flourishing for their family? And so one thing that's big about Deion when you watch him speak is that he's a purpose-driven individual. What about you? What's your purpose, man? You guys see my purpose and what I'm doing. Like I work in the insurance sales industry, guys, but it's a purpose-driven mentality I have here. Every single day I show up to the office, how can I help serve more people? And what's crazy is this, as Deion serving the historical Black university system, and he's bringing value to the cafeteria and upgrading the campus, he's bringing value to others. His name is being put in the light. Because normally in life, when you serve others first, value gets added to you on top of that, guys. So with that being said, if it's saying, man, Chris, man, I want to be someone who's purpose-driven. I want to be someone who has a championship mentality. How can I do that myself, guys? One, have vision. You got to have vision. You got to have vision what you're doing everyday life. You got to have vision what you're doing. One, you got to have purpose behind what you're doing. Are you purpose-driven? And then two, are you preparing for what you do every single day? Right now you're playing in the dark. Right now you're saying, man, Chris, I'm not where I want to be in life. I want to be the best in my industry, the best in my career. As you're practicing today in the dark, trust me, your best highlights are happening today. When everyone else watches what you're doing on stage and say, man, you're so amazing, you're what you're doing, that was already done 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. So keep practicing, keep having vision, be purpose-driven what you do, guys, and whatever you want in life, you'll have. Guys, if you got any value from today's video, do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment in the comment section below, guys. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram @SoldOutServer. Until next time, we'll see you soon.